Welcome to the fight game with Icewater and Puma. And I know you want to talk about the fight coming up this week with Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. It seemed like they've been doing a lot of chirping. And I was watching an interview not too long ago with Charlo, and he was saying, you know what? People really don't know how great I am. This is my time to show how great I am against Canelo, because they were actually alluding to how he put on weight for this fight and he stepped up and wanted this fight. It seemed like Canelo Alvarez has a little bit more respect going into the last days of this fight. Your thoughts, man?
But I think that's who Canelo is. He mentioned before that Charlo and his brother were talking stuff early on, probably a few years ago, talking about they didn't know how strong he was and he was really the real deal or not. But I think now that Canelo understands who this guy is, and when you think about it, Charlo has no fear, man. He has no fear. You know what I'm saying? He has no fear. Nobody's expects him to win. Jamel Chamorro, no one expects him to win. And what I find ironic about the weight, everybody's talking about the weight, but what does really Jamel Charlo, what weight does he walk around at? Everybody's like he's at 154. He might be 160, 162, something like that too. So I think that's going to be interesting. I also think that he's ready for it. But I think part of it too is Canelo, and I think Canelo, that's what we want to the mountains because he needs to be in shape. You can't get the same performance and come in the same way that you did against the last gentleman that you fought. You got to come in for real because Jamel Charlo is a live dog. He's a guy that's going to be in shape, and he believes he can win. And I know a lot of people say that before, but the one thing I'll say is a lot of boxers give Canelo trouble. And Jamel Charlo can box. Okay, Caleb Plant gave Canelo some trouble till he caught him. Bivol definitely gave him trouble, but I think the weight has something to do with that too. But I think Jamel Charlo's like, you know what? Why not, man? Why not? Why not take a chance and go after it? And again, if Canelo fights the same way he does, waits to the last minute, and he's not in great shape, we could see a battle, a war, man.
Yeah,
we could see a battle.
I'm going to give you my prediction of the fight. Been thinking about this a little bit, and I think this is a good fight. This is a good match that's coming up. I mentioned in previous weeks that I thought Charlo was much faster than Canelo, which is a disadvantage to Canelo. And Canelo has kind of been, to me, kind of picking and choosing who he really wants to fight. And I think he bit off a little bit more than he could chew at this particular fight because the Lions are hungry. I'm picking Charlo in a split decision with this fight. I think he's going to battle in the early rounds and take it to Canelo. Canelo will probably in the middle rounds kind of get his setting, get his self set up to take some rounds. But I think Charlo at the end will do just enough to get a split decision and take this fight. Your thoughts?
Wow, that's interesting. I like that though. I like how you're not afraid to step out there and say what you got to say. Making prediction, and that's what people are looking at it for, right? They want us to say what we got to say.
Yeah.
So I'm now supposed to give my predictions. I'm supposed to do that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I thought about this long and hard. I enjoyed the style that Jamel Charlo brings. I don't think he's afraid of anybody. I do think he needs to try to box, but he also needs to try to attack the body with Canelo. Question is, can you stay on your bicycle long enough to stay away from those punches that come to you? I think Jamel Charlo is going to go, I think this might go to distance. And if it does go to distance, I think Canelo's going to win. Mm-hmm. So just because of the fact that I don't know, and I'm not saying the judges are going to cheat or nothing like that, but I think it's going to be hard to kind of win a decision against Canelo. But I also can see, and you heard it here first, round 9, Canelo making a mistake coming after him. And Charlo has the ability, it's this thing he says, where he can move around and wait and get away and elude you. And when you come all the way that Canelo comes all in like this, trying to close the gap, he has this little punch. It's like a twisting punch that he catch you when he going backwards, and it hurts real bad. I think it's one of the punches that actually dropped Castano.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is a knockout or in round 9, I think Charlo has to stop him. I do. I don't think he's not going to decision. Charlo has to stop him. But with that being said, I want him to shock the world, but I think Canelo's gonna beat him via decision. I do. I think Charlo's smart enough to hang around and put some hurt on Canelo, but I think they're not gonna. It's gonna take almost a dominant performance. Let me just say this: it's gonna take a dominant performance by Charlo by decision, right? You're not going to get the judges what Bivol did. You're not going to get that. One, because who Canelo is, what level it's on. It's going to take a special yeoman. You're going to have to take it, and I think Charlo knows that. And I don't think he's going to win a decision. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm choosing Canelo by decision.
Depending on who the judges are,
but I think it's just that respect factor, right? In order, because it's Canelo, they want you to go like old school. You have to dominate the fight. You have to beat the champion, and because it's King Canelo, we've been talking about him for 10 years. He's on the top. They're not gonna let Jermell Charlo come in with a little pop, 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 and kind of walk away because it's close. He's going to have to literally dominate Canelo to win. And I'm not sure if that's possible unless he knocks him out.
Yeah, and my thinking is that he will, and it will go the distance. But that, they're not going to say unanimously that one judge is going to go, I got respect for this guy, and I'm going to give him my decision a nod in this fight. The other judges may go, you know what? This fighter dominated, so we got to give it to him. So that's what I'm thinking. That I think Charlo knows that he has to go in here and dominate the fight because he doesn't want it taken from him. I think they know that. So I think he's going to dominate this fight. I think his speed and his power is going to dominate, and his angles and how he really kind of gets fighters, kind of off balance, things of that sort. I think he's going to dominate this fight, a la Floyd Mayweather, just making Canelo look kind of foolish in there and giving him a lesson and giving him things that he hasn't seen or experienced. I know he's experienced a lot, but I think against a quicker fighter, I think Canelo always has trouble. And having him go against Bivol and seeing, how he handled that, I'm like, nah, he ain't the guy he was 10 years ago.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I can see that. I just don't know the decision. It's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm not choosing Charlo by decision. Like I said, I might, like I said, I might look into my sponsors and see what we can do about that round 9. Because actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I think I'm gonna look at a few things about Charlo and the knockout. It may not just be 9. I might cover some other things too, because if he wins it, I mean, it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
If he wins it, I think it's gonna be my knockout. I just got to make sure this is late. I don't think it's gonna be early because he has that sting. But I think if you cut, that's the other thing. Can you cut Canelo?
Yeah.
Can you cut him? Can you keep working on him and things of that nature? Yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting. I know too that they got a pretty nice undercard that's gonna be happening on as well, as far as this is concerned. So it should be.
So you segue right into it. Talk about some of the undercard fights.
Yeah, usually you have a couple, 1 or 2 guys. You say, I kind of know that guy. He's not really fighting a tough guy or anything. Somebody you might be aware of. But on the Canelo Charlo undercard, one fight we're going to see is at the junior middleweight between Jesus Ramos Jr. and our boy Erickson Lubin is on this, and that should be a real slugfest prior to the big event. Looking forward to that. And we're going to see Mario Barrios, right? Who's really tough and shown a lot of character in his fights. And this is preparing to fight one of my favorite guys, as long as he's not fighting my guy or my guys, is Eudenis Yordenis Ugas. Ugas is fight. So I love Ugas. I love his style, I love his attitude, and I think he's a really good fighter. The winner of this could possibly be looking at a potential matchup with either Boots Ennis or Keith Thurman.
Okay.
That's kind of middle tier. I like that because these guys are really going after they want it. And I would love to see, I know everybody wants to put Boots Ennis at the top and give him a shot right now, but you kind of got to work your way around a little bit, right? So I think fighting somebody for Boots Ennis to fight somebody like Keith Thurman or Ugas, it shows that he's capable. I think that's a great fight. Nobody else wants to hear that because they want to shoot him up there real quick, and put him up against the best of the best. But sometimes you got to walk through the fire and earn your keep before you get an initial shot against some of the best guys. So looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a great. I will be looking forward to those those bouts on the undercards because you cannot watch a card with Lubin on it and not get some excitement, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Lubin. It would be good to see him come back from, he kind of had a couple of setbacks with 2 losses, taking nothing away from Jesus Ramos. And, he's undefeated coming in with 20-0 record. And then Ugas, and Barrios. It would be good to see who's hungry enough to get to the next level or to get their career back started and get into that championship realm. So I've always liked Lubin. He's taken some hard knocks with the 2 losses, and when he fought Fedorov, and he fought his heart out, and the size was just too much. Yeah. But it would be a great undercard to just check out and see who kind of gets themselves back in that championship realm again. Any other thoughts before we end the show?
Yeah, I've been waiting on this fight for a while because I love the Charlos. I love Jamel. I think it's a great opportunity for him. Win, lose, or draw. I think it's a great opportunity for him to show. And just what happens if he wins this fight? Mm-hmm. I mean, people are down on Derek James right now because of Crawford defeating Spence. And I'm gonna say this other thing to you real quick. We've been hearing a lot of talk about the rematch between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. And they're talking about whether or not they're going to fight at 147 or 154. Spencer saying wants to fight at 154. Crawford's like, no, 147, and I'm the guy. I can decide what I want to do. I'm telling you this, I don't know. I'm not that connected to that. And this is true speculation. And maybe I could do a little bit more homework though. But considering that Bomac, Terrence Crawford's trainer, is still, I think, incarcerated overseas, can affect the training that he would have for this rematch, right? So therefore, I'm not saying they stalling, but it's kind of peculiar all of a sudden that they're taking their time getting this signed because I know he needs Bomac in his corner. So all of the scuttlebutt and whatnot, I'm not saying it's a stall tactic, but it's ironic that it's like, right, till they know what's happening with Bomac. And then maybe they will move on if he is not able to be freed or come home. And who knows, we haven't heard a lot. Maybe he is home. I don't think he is. But it's ironic that these two things are kind of coincide with one another as they try to go negotiations, and then also his current status, Bomac, that is.
Right. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and this is Fight Game.